BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
Republican Senator Rand Paul has sharply criticized the Trump administration's recent military airstrikes targeting boats off the coast of Venezuela, which the White House claims were involved in drug trafficking. Senator Paul, a Republican representing Kentucky, unequivocally labeled these actions as extrajudicial killings during a television interview on Sunday. These strong remarks come just days after President Trump himself suggested that federal lawmakers would likely have no objections to these strikes, even implying a lack of need for congressional approval. The U.S. military has reportedly conducted at least 8 strikes in recent weeks against vessels operating in the Caribbean near Venezuela's shores. These operations have resulted in the deaths of approximately 40 individuals, whom the Trump administration maintains were engaged in the illicit smuggling of drugs. Speaking with Shannon Bream on Fox News Sunday, Senator Paul expressed deep concern over a perceived lack of transparency from the Trump administration. He asserted that Congress has received no substantive information regarding this campaign of strikes, despite the president's earlier assurances of openness to briefing lawmakers. Paul highlighted the absence of any details about the targeted individuals, the evidence against them, or whether they were armed. He emphasized the lack of any presented evidence to support the administration's claims. Senator Paul drew a stark parallel between these actions and the methods employed by the repressive governments of China and Iran, which have previously executed drug smugglers. He argued that the administration's approach of summarily executing people without presenting evidence to the public is fundamentally wrong. Senator Paul's vocal opposition positions him apart from a segment of Republican colleagues who have publicly supported the administration's actions. Reports indicate that other members of Congress, including U.S. House Representative Bernie Moreno of Ohio and Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming, have expressed favor towards the offensive near Venezuela. According to the U.S. news outlet Semaphore, this is not the first instance of Senator Paul clashing with President Trump on military matters. Earlier this year, Senator Paul, a proponent of libertarian principles, joined Democratic Senators Tim Kaine of Virginia and Adam Schiff of California in introducing a war powers resolution. This resolution aimed to block the Trump administration from utilizing military strikes within or against Venezuela. However, the measure ultimately failed to garner sufficient support to pass the Senate. President Trump, speaking to the media on Friday, reiterated his administration's willingness to brief lawmakers on the strikes but maintained that seeking congressional authorization was unnecessary. His public statements on the matter have been blunt, with the president stating, "I think we're just gonna kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay, we're going to kill them. They're going to be, like, dead." Prior to his recent comments on Fox News, Senator Paul had previously voiced his disagreements with President Trump regarding the potential use of the U.S. military. In the lead-up to the 2024 election, President Trump had signaled his intention to employ the military to support his administration's agenda of mass deportations. Following Trump's electoral victory but before his second inauguration, Senator Paul stated his belief that deploying the military for deportation purposes was illegal, and that such tasks should fall under the purview of U.S. law enforcement agencies. At that time, he characterized such a prospect as a terrible image and declared his opposition. This history of military-related disagreements underscores a consistent pattern of Senator Paul challenging the executive branch's expansive interpretations of military authority and its application in domestic and foreign policy matters, particularly when he perceives a lack of constitutional justification or transparency. The current controversy surrounding the Venezuelan airstrikes further highlights this ongoing tension, with Senator Paul raising serious ethical and legal questions about the administration's conduct and the potential for unchecked executive power in matters of life and death. The senator's framing of the strikes as extrajudicial killings is a grave accusation, suggesting a violation of fundamental legal principles and potentially international law. His emphasis on the absence of due process and public evidence elevates his concerns beyond mere policy disagreement to a fundamental challenge to the rule of law. The contrasting views within the Republican Party itself, as evidenced by Senator Paul's stance compared to that of other prominent Republicans, also indicate a developing debate within the party on the appropriate use of military force and the president's authority in foreign interventions and drug interdiction operations. The failure of the War Powers Resolution, despite bipartisan co-sponsorship, further illustrates the challenges in limiting presidential military actions. Even when faced with significant congressional opposition, the administration's justification for these strikes, centered on disrupting drug trafficking, is now under intense scrutiny, with Senator Paul's powerful indictment forcing a broader public and political reckoning with the methods employed and the underlying legal and ethical considerations. The president's own candid admission of his intent to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country serves to underscore the gravity of Senator Paul's concerns and the potential for a significant escalation of executive power in the ongoing fight against illicit narcotics.